The Multimedia Group has officially filed a complaint with the governing New Patriotic Party for the unprovoked attack on one of its reporters last Friday at the party's headquarters. Condemning the assault against journalists in recent times, Managing Director of Multi-TV, Santok Singh, says an official complaint has also been lodged with the National Media Commission as well as the Ministry of Information to end brutalities against journalists so they could work in peace. Santok Singh spoke earlier on the polls.
We can't, we should not tolerate this anymore, because again and again we have seen many cases for the past few years, for the past months, that coming. And it's not only multimedia journalists, but also other journalists from the other media houses also experiences the same thing. So we totally condemn this, and we want this to end immediately. In the case of Latif, we have made an official complaint to the police, and police are investigating. I think we have reported ACP Eklu just now that saying that they are concluding the investigation, though I'm not surprised sort of with the outcome or statement they have made. But then we'll respect the processes. Due processes have to take place before we take the next action. And in the case of Charities HUR, what we have done is that we have written official complaint to NPP, the leadership of NPP, condemning this, and then investigation to be done for the members who has done the brutality. And we have also written to the Information Minister, also for them to do the same thing, bring this to an end and do a proper investigation of what happened. And also we have written to National Media Commission as well, for them to also take an action. So these are the steps we are taking, and we'll see the outcome of it, because we acknowledge that we have to go through due processes to do it, and then once the outcome is done, then we'll see what's the next step, whether we are happy, we are satisfied, or we are not happy, then what's the next step that we're going to take.
Then that would
Meanwhile, the governing New Patriotic Party has spoken out against the assault. In a statement, the acting General Secretary of the MPP, John Buedu, condemned the attack, adding that it respects and cherishes the role of the media as partners in development. And according to the statement, the MPP has noted with concern an alleged attack on a journalist by one of its supporters, Hajia Fatih. And the party says they distance themselves from the act and condemn it unreservedly. The party wishes to assure Ghanaian journalists that it respects and cherishes the role of the media as partners in development and does not condone any action intended to suppress press freedom in Ghana. No journalist, according to the statement, should feel intimidated and must continue to discharge his or her duties without fear. Though the New Patriotic Party, in the conclusion in the statement, has already begun an internal inquiry into the alleged incident, the party says they will also cooperate with other agencies investigating the subject. And it's signed by the acting General Secretary of the MPP. Well, in Parliament, the leadership of the legislature has assured it will ensure passage of the Right to Information Bill into law before the close of the year. The majority leader, Osei Mensah Bonsu, made the pledge at a stakeholders forum on the bill, which has suffered several delays spanning some 2 decades. Evans Chinri reports the leadership of both the majority and minority sides in Parliament promised the bill will be prioritized when the MPs return from recess.
The bill, which is currently at the consideration stage, is expected to be discussed clause by clause with all concerns debated and voted upon. The rationale for the bill is to guarantee the right to access official information held by public and private entities which perform public functions with public funds. Ranking member of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee in Parliament, Inusaf Hussaini, says the bill must be passed sooner than later.
We will convene on the 15th or so of May. In fact, tomorrow we will be at Kofredua to take the bill through a clause-by-clause consideration. And then when Parliament reconvenes in May, middle of May, we will lay the report. The second reading will be done, and then we'll go immediately into consideration. And so, hopefully, in this sitting, we should be able to pass into law.
Head of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative Ghana, Mina Mensah, says some aspect of the bill must be looked at again.
This is an access to information law. The law is supposed to give people access. It's a human right. Now, when you look at our law, except for the definitions, you see that it begins with exemptions. Information from cabinet is exempt. Information from the vice president's office is exempt. But this is a law that is supposed to give us access. So in my view, or in the view of the coalition and the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, it shouldn't start with exemptions. Number two, the principle is that exemptions should be very narrow. The principle is that it is a right. In fact, all information should be made available, subject to certain limitations. So the limitation should be very narrow, not as broad as they are in our bill. If you look at the bill, we can count almost 64 exemptions, and we think that the way they are phrased, they are too broad.
In other news, businessman Alfred Amewu on Tuesday questioned the impartiality of justices of the Supreme Court of Ghana when he opened his case against the state at the African Court on Human Rights and People's Rights. Well, the businessman is challenging a 2014 decision by the Supreme Court of Ghana ordering that he pays the state an amount of some 51 million Ghana cedis handed him as judgment debt. Lead counsel for Mr. Woyome, Osafo Boabing, told the regional court his fundamental human rights have been abused. But Deputy Attorney General Alfred Amewu urged the regional court to dismiss the case against Ghana. There's more in the following report.
To the case where each handed an hour to make their opening statements. The businessman's legal team was led by Kweko Osafo Boabing, who accused the Republic of Ghana of violating his human rights. He then took on justices of the Supreme Court, who ruled that Mr. Woyome pays back the 51.2 million cedis to the state. Supreme Court of Ghana Judge Justice Jones Doche, who presided over that case, was not spared.
Each case must be treated on its own merits to ascertain the reasonableness of time. So it is our contention, or the applicant's contention, that he has been able to demonstrate a good and compelling reason why there was some delay in bringing the matter before the commission. And in the interest of fairness and justice, this court must listen to the applicant.
Deputy AG Alfred Amewu, however, disagreed with this view. He urged the court to throw out the case.
Because the record will show that even after the Supreme Court gave judgment, which the applicant complains of in 2014, the High Court in 2015 gave a judgment acquitting and discharging the applicant of criminal charges in respect of the same set of facts. So our respectful submission is that indeed the courts of Ghana exercise their jurisdictions depending on the circumstances relating to the facts that have been adduced before the court. Indeed, the Supreme Court exercises a specific jurisdiction, which is a constitutional jurisdiction. The review was also in respect of that specific constitutional jurisdiction. The High Court, when it was acquitting and discharging the applicant in 2015, even after the Supreme Court had ruled against the applicant, was exercising a criminal jurisdiction. But also the fact of the Supreme Court having given a judgment in 2014, before the High Court also determined the criminal matter in 2015, did not in any way influence the High Court at all. Neither did it lead the High Court to also ruling in favor of the state. The state lost that matter. The applicant was acquitted and discharged. Indeed, the state appealed to the Court of Appeal against the judgment of the High Court. But the Court of Appeal again dismissed the appeal by the state, ruling in favor of the applicant.
Well, Well, back home, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defence Staff, the Director General of the Bureau of National Investigations and 4 others were on Tuesday spared jail terms after an Accra High Court cleared them of the charge of contempt. Lawyers for the Osu Traditional Council had prayed the court to hand the 7 persons prison terms for disobeying the orders of the High Court, asking that they stay away from a 172-acre parcel of land, which is a subject of dispute between the Traditional Council and the Achimota School. There's more in the following report.
The Traditional Council and School has for years engaged in a legal banter over who is the rightful owner of the land. The contempt proceedings were initiated after the council had claimed a court order had been disobeyed. While lawyers of the top security officials had denied knowledge of the order, the legal team for the Old Achimotans Association had also argued they were not ordered by any court to stay away from the land. High Court Judge Justice Kweku Akabuafu ruled the top officials could not be found guilty of contempt since they were not served the order. For the president of the Old Achimotans Association, Professor Ernest Aite, and headmistress of the school, the court held that it lacks jurisdiction since the supposed order served on them was from the Court of Appeal. A cost of 3,000 cedis was awarded in favor of the association and headmistress of the school. President of the Old Achimotans Association, Professor Ernest Aite, told pressmen the school expects the state to step in to protect land belonging to the school.
There's nobody involved in what we are doing that is doing for personal gain. We are doing it because it is for the school. It's for a public school. So if the state will not defend the school, then individuals who have benefited from the school should take on that responsibility. So I hope that the state will come to our aid. I hope that the state will take the responsibility of protecting its assets. It's not for individuals like me or others to be doing that. It's the responsibility of the state of Ghana. The school belongs to Ghana, you see. And so Ghana should set up and protect its school. That's all. I mean, we are relieved. We are relieved that there are many bigger things that should follow. This is only a temporary situation. So getting the court ruling, the dismissal, is the first step, where we appreciate it very much. But that shouldn't stop us from pursuing what is right, what's just, and what is lawful.
It's not clear how soon the call by the school will be heeded.
Well, that'll be it for the news. But before we go, a non-governmental organization, WaterAid Ghana, is embarking on a campaign to get health facilities in the country, especially in rural communities, to adopt good hygiene practices and also promote same in communities where they operate. The NGO wants health centers, for example, to, as part of the initiative, have facilities where patients and clients can wash their hands anytime they visit, as well as have a decent place of convenience. Hannah Odame was at the media briefing and our reports.
The Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WASH program was launched in Ghana in 2011 to increase potable water access to communities and also improve on sanitation. It was to imbibe a culture of hand washing and the maintenance of good hygienic practices as a means of avoiding contracting diseases. This has, however, not been practicable as many educational and health facilities have not made adequate provisions for the implementation of these. NGO WaterAid says it intends to change the trend after realizing the adverse effects of not practicing these health activities, especially amongst children. Head of People at WaterAid, Antoinette Abba Shaw Agawe, says Ghana can only achieve the SDGs 6 goals if attention is given to providing clean water to all.
How we can talk about all the behavioral change issues that mothers should know, how we can incorporate things like hand washing and disposal of, fecal matter, that is having facilities where they can, and the distance of that from the facility.
According to Head of Policy, Advocacy and Campaign at WaterAid, George York, health facilities must invest in water, sanitation and hygiene to save lives, especially children.
Our health facilities don't have wash activities. And that's why nobody should tell you that when you go to, we can go to a hospital even in Accra here, where there is no wash facility. There's no toilet for even the people who are visiting. People sleep outside. We know all these things. And we also want to see that every health facility in Ghana have access to basic water, sanitation and hygiene facilities in the country.
WaterAid is urging Ghana to combine actions on health, nutrition, water, sanitation and hygiene to help lift the country out of poverty, especially because stunted growth, malnutrition and death-related diseases among children are preventable. For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odame.
Well, make sure that you encourage your children, especially those who go to school, to wash their hands, and also, wash your hands anytime you come home. But that'll be it for the latest news update. More news. We'll review the newspapers. We'll look at stories on myjoyonline.com and the other online portals. But please get interactive. Facebook is our regular page. We're always there. We're live, and that's where you have to get us. JoyNews on TV is the name of the page there. We have a regular channel on YouTube as well. Please make sure you visit us as always. Watch us with your phone, with your tablet, with your TV, wherever you are on My Joy Online TV on YouTube. Well, we're taking a break. Myself and Mavio Sabwaja will be back with the newspapers. We know you will enjoy it. Stick and stay.